Hello and welcome to another edition of On the Run with MTDCNC, a podcast we broadcast every Friday afternoon / evening at 6 p.m, where we go through all of the activity that we've been up to this week and have a little bit of fun along the way. Hopefully. That depends on who I'm normally joined by. And today I have the pleasure of being with Chloe. Hello, Chloe. Good afternoon.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
Very good, thanks. This is not the first time I've seen you this week. We've been out on the road quite a bit, haven't we? Lots of stories to tell. And Colin, you, once again, how you doing? You enjoyed it so much last week. We've invited you back for another one.
Yeah,
or you've invited yourself.
Thanks very much.
You keeping all right?
Yeah. Yeah, Paul, absolutely fantastic. We've had a great week. Thank you for inviting me back. Didn't think I'd get after abusing last week. I didn't think there'd be a recall.
I thought it was a great show. Went on for about 40 minutes, like today will. And 40 minutes might sound like a long time, but we've got so much to cover in this show. I've got a few things along the way which should make it a little entertaining as well. But firstly, as always, a few shout outs to our listeners. Now, Ray from RDL wants a shout out. We all know Ray. We've been to his place a few times. He listens every week. He's just purchased some new sliding head lathes as well. Some more machines going in there. So good evening, Ray. We've got Lee James from Metalite. Myself and Chloe were there this week. He listens to and wanted us to give his company a shout out. We'll talk about what he does there at his business in due course as well. David Baines from Manufax wants us to mention his company producing large industrial engineering solutions for the aerospace and defence industry. The list actually goes on. We got Joe.
Do a few more later, Paul. Come on.
So Jolie and Lisa from the Mira Technical Institute wanted a shout out as well. We met them this week. A few more of those, if you have posted to us, we'll mention you throughout the show. So yeah, we're going to talk about what we've been up to this week. And as I said, I've got a few other things to talk about on the way. I've got a question for you guys actually, and for the listeners. This one, and I'll publish the answer next week. But what I wanted to ask you is, it's a question and it's relating to the two, I found this out this week, the two world's leading machine tool manufacturers. Now, they're both based in Germany. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you which the second is, or the one that comes in second place, but I'm going to ask you which one you think is first, because, and I'm not going to tell you the answer.
I'm
but
not very good with geography. Let's just put that on there.
It's in Europe.
Thanks for that, Colin.
Always a pleasure.
So number two is DMG Mori, who reported a $2.7 billion US in global revenue in 2019. So who's number one that's bigger than that? And as I say, it's the two world's leading machine tool manufacturers.
2.7 billion.
I was going to say Chiron, but
Yeah. You're going to say shit? Is that your guess? Okay.
You've just seen me write that
No, I
down.
didn't.
Honestly,
You
I'm not
can't
doing
even
this
spell
show.
Chiron.
You were cheating last week and you're cheating this week. No, you know what? I do not know. I was going to say Haas. They're American, aren't they?
Absolutely. So that's a question out there. I mean, you'd be quite surprised at the answer.
know.
We will.
Don't leave us hanging. I need to know.
I will announce it in next week's show. So let's get on with it. Right, this week. What a week. I tell you what, it gets busier week on week, doesn't it? Monday, we started, our first visit was at Gemini Prototypes. Lindsay was there looking at the installation of a new Jomars machine. They are, and this is a bit of a theme running through today's show, because there's 2 or 3 companies we visited that have been tool makers this week. And I know we've got some points on some of the products that they were making. But Gemini Prototypes, based in Aylesbury, just purchased a brand new Jomars machine. They got some brilliant, and I'm hoping to maybe put some pictures over the top of this podcast. But if not, you'll just have to wait for the video. But some of the tools they were making there were really good. In fact, Lindsay spent the whole day there in the end looking at some beautifully surfaced finished components, some huge electrodes.
I can say I don't know Jomar tools that well, to be honest. I'm assuming mold making, things like that, big machines, big mills.
Well, no, these Jomars, so they're the Sparker Roses or the
so I'm completely wrong there.
So
No,
you obviously don't know.
I don't. I do apologise for that.
That's okay. So Jomars is a really big manufacturer of product. In fact, Eurospark have been selling them for many years here in the UK. They do very, very well amongst general engineering. Very good value for money machines. And their fuzzy logic control is very, very easy and conversational as well. So if
I've got that on a washing machine.
Yeah, you got it on your head as well. Some fuzzy stuff. So that was on Monday. Tuesday we were out.
Well, hold on. Can I just stop you there? Because me and Chloe went out.
Oh yeah, we did. I forgot.
We went to Monard and we had a great time.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, they are. We couldn't show many parts because they're all flipping NDAs, aren't they? So
Yeah,
we took a
they
few
are.
sneaky ones, so we'll put those out and then get told off, but hey-ho.
That was a company we went to actually as well a few weeks ago, wasn't it? Where the guys weren't too keen at that
Yeah,
point to go
we
on
just
camera.
did a little snippet, but we went into so much detail, didn't we, Colin? And the bloke was, I can't remember his name.
Martin.
Sorry. Martin, he was fantastic. He'd been there for 20 years, left for a bit, and then come back.
Yeah.
And he's just, the stuff that they're doing there is just extraordinary. It's really, really good.
Love their mills, the Doosans, absolutely love them, milling and turning. And he was shouting about, when you think automation, you think, well, what do you think? If I said to you automation, what would you think? Just one answer.
Robot.
What would you think? You can say robot as well.
Automation.
Sliders, robots, everything like that. Microlock, he said this is the best way to automate a mill. He said he absolutely loved it. He had a big table out and he said we could load this up and run it overnight.
He's looking at another one, isn't he?
He is. Don't tell Matt Janess that. He'll be a...
Oh, sorry, Matt. Just take that back.
Is it all Doosan machines in there?
It's not all, but they're sort of bringing more through at the moment. Absolutely.
They love them.
Yeah.
Because Martin used to be, I'm sure he used to be the gentleman I used to know that used to work at Edge Fine. I think it was Edge Fine back in rugby many years ago.
But it is, it is rugby, so it might well be.
Yeah, good. So it was a good visit.
Yeah, brilliant
Great visit.
Yeah.
Well, poor guy was so nervous though. He was shaking like a pooping dog. He really was.
How did he come across there when he was actually on the camera?
When he was on camera,
awful. He was really good.
Stop it.
Anyway, moving on. Come on, chop chop.
So Goering, Joe was at Goering on Tuesday, and I know you've had some conversations with him, Colin. But one of those fabulous facilities Goering is right next to the to Villa Park.
Don't talk about that.
Oh well, you would know. You've been there many times, haven't you?
Yeah,
Not Villa Park, but to Goering.
Yeah, I've never been to Villa Park. I think my dad would disown me if I did. But I've been to Goering quite a lot of times. Dave Hudson, all the team there, fantastic facility, and they've got a lathe, they've got a mill, and it's just incredible facility. Yeah.
Before we talk about what Joe saw on Tuesday, you were there yourself, Chloe, weren't you? A couple of weeks ago, doing some videos, and you were doing it on 3D printed tooling, is that right?
Yeah, so they invested in a plastic 3D printer a couple of years ago. I think Chris Weston was very heavily involved in that. And they've actually now bought a metal printing. So they're doing the plastic, sending it off to the customer. And then when it goes into production, they're printing it in metal. And it's just fantastic.
What metals?
I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait for the video to find out. There you go.
Oh, back at you, Colin.
But they're doing whole... like inserts, everything, and it's just fantastic to look at. And
is this full production or is this just development?
Yeah,
research?
and they're sending it out to the customers. That's it, done. So they're not actually. Obviously, they've got a lathe where they're making prototypes as well, but they're sticking them on the metal printer, doing them all, sending them off to the customers, and they're using them. And it's just a great way to utilise new technology.
Hold
it's
on,
fantastic.
just to reiterate. 3D printing inserts that go straight out to a customer for use.
Yeah, and tool heads as well. Wow. So you've got the tool heads and then you get the inserts from Goering as well, and it just all goes together, and that is the product, and it's just fantastic.
I know this is something that might come up as well in a bit, because I know we were at Sandvik as well this week, but creating printing tooling, I can see so many benefits to it. Certainly when you think that you can begin to design the tool in the best way the tool can be designed, if that sounds stupid. Probably
Correct,
does sound stupid,
yes.
but cooling chambers and things like that, getting
the coolant out in the right places, swarf evacuation as well. If it's getting wrapped up around that tool, you can create different indents in the tool so that it's able to chip away as well. So Goering to be able to provide that service and send it out straight to the customers, and customers can come back, oh, can you just change this? Yeah, no problem, we'll just print another one. And it's specialised for that customer. Obviously they have off the shelf stuff as well, but to be able to go into this part is just great.
brilliant.
Accuracy though, 3D printer, I didn't think it'd go to that sort of tolerances, but obviously does.
It obviously does if customers are wanting more and more.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what did Joe see then, Colin?
He was talking about 3D printing of inserts. No, I'm joking. He was, as he told me, Goering are very well known for their milling cutters and taps and things like that. They're not so well known for their grooving range. So he was looking at that, but they've got a new parting off tool as well. So doing a similar job to grooving, as you'd imagine. I was just imagining there. Hold on. Yeah. But this does the actual parting off as well. So he's reviewing that.
You're a bit of a groovy yourself, aren't you?
Thank you. Yes, you've seen me on the dance floor. Really bad. Fell over.
On the music note, did you know that the man that invented the guitar could never play? The man that invented the guitar could never actually play it.
Why not?
I don't know. It's just a fact.
The talk, but can't walk the walk.
Yeah, it's just. But imagine that, inventing something that you can't even play. So the guy that actually developed the guitar couldn't even play it.
Oh, it was a banjo. Anyway, Colin, moving on.
Right, so we're on to Wednesday now. Actually, we can't finish Tuesday before we're talking about
MTI.
the Mira Technical
Institute.
Institute.
MTI, how can we forget that?
What a great place. Chloe, you tell us.
Well, we didn't really know what we were in for, did we? When we went, Gio was just like, come with us and have a look. And we went in there, and this facility was just absolutely unbelievable. Apprenticeships, scholarships, PhDs, everything that you need to know about new technology and engineering. So they're doing cyber hacking, they're doing fuel cells, and it's just the place there that they had, and what the people, not even kids, you can... Colin, you could probably go do one. You'd struggle, but I think it would be quite good.
Brutal.
But the stuff that they learn on is just out of this world.
Yeah, it's all about emerging technologies in
That's right,
automotive.
Well, I did speak to Gio, and he told me they have 35 OEMs there, so your BMWs, your Toyotas. Yeah. He told me they do crash testing of dummies and things like that, so Paul got on there straight away. But wind tunnel and autonomous cars. Did you know?
And you went in the wind tunnel?
I did, and the autonomous cars asked if you had a drive.
You can tell by your hair.
Come on, that was a good one. An autonomous car. Did you ever drive?
It was very good.
Help me here.
The autonomous vehicle one is really interesting, and what I thought, what you mentioned, Chloe, as well about the cyber side of it. I was
so interested.
It's a whole module. It's a whole. You know, they basically, when they've got a whole researchers and lecturers that are teaching this subject, which is about people trying to hack into an autonomous vehicle. And actually, you know, you imagine that we said on the video that we did, if you sent a vehicle to go and pick up your groceries or what have you.
I'll tell you what, I was walking through Northampton last night, as you do, and one of those robot vehicles near where lives.
Are they around?
Yeah, I've got video of it. Maybe we'll cut it in. And it came past me, and I tried to nick something. Yeah. And it zapped me with electric shock. No, it didn't. But it was amazing.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing with these autonomous vehicles. They need to protect the general public and the people that are in them from attack. So you imagine, you know, somebody sees a vehicle going up the road, and they a terrorist or however you want to describe it wants to try and be one step ahead so that they can infiltrate the how it works, and they've got a whole. Yeah, they've got to stay one step ahead of the game. That was one of the areas, wasn't it?
A lot of the stuff was top secret that we couldn't see, and that was the best thing about it, because you just wanted to go. And they were talking about the test track and stuff, weren't they?
Top
Don't
secret.
tell me. They were talking about the test track, and they've got. Is it foliage? Foliage?
Yeah.
Foliage. Where did you suddenly become
covering the whole test track, so you can't even see over there. And there's only one and another site that you knew about.
There is one down in
but
Millbrook,
they're the only
in Bedfordshire.
two that they do it at, and obviously, like you said, Toyota and everything, they send their cars there because it's one of the best places in the UK. And to have that right on our doorstep is incredible.
And the other point there about the electrification of vehicles and using hydrogen, the advancements and companies looking to use hydrogen in the future, and the fact it's a very clean fuel and it could be the next thing on to the electric vehicle. But it's all about, you know, training people in and educating them into the latest advancements in the automotive.
A point I've got about electric vehicles, because you were thinking about one, you say, it's going to be a nightmare getting it charged and things like that. If I forget the night before, I actually this morning saw just a row of Teslas being charged, and these guys couldn't go anywhere. So
it's like a Tesla graveyard sometimes, isn't it? Where they just
that's what concerns me. I mean, they're talking about the batteries getting better and better, and they're talking about that as well at the Mira Technical Institute. But I have to say, before we move on from this one, because we've given it quite a bit of airtime, and it deserves it because it's a really fantastic place, that we're going to be working in partnership with Zeiss there, doing like an open day where we're going to be getting students in, and we're going to be talking to them about taking a part from manufacturer through to inspection, and it could be the start of a good relationship there. With
any particular part, or you can't say at the moment?
I think it's going to be. I wouldn't want to say it on air now, but yeah, it's going to be from a well-known.
A complex, high-end part.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, high-value part. So that was Tuesday. Then Wednesday, halfway through the week, we had Gio was here in the studio doing some technical corners with, in fact, the company we aforementioned, Zeiss. Colin, you know a little bit more about this.
I do know just a little bit. It was the Vision 1, which is and I've used this phrase before, a game changer. It's a first in the world. Let me get this right. Optical inspection. And Gio gave an example of what it's for. It's lots and lots of small parts. So you're checking for the surface finish, burrs and things like that. And normally if you've got, if you're inspecting it, you've got to zoom in and zoom out and things like that. This is pretty much as he describes it. And obviously you need to see the video to get a better description. But it's just like looking at it, just magnified. So if you've got, for example, a magnifying glass, you've got to zoom in and out and things like that. This is just like looking at it. It's a first in the world.
What does it pick up all the...
Down at top, side, everywhere. Absolutely.
Right, okay.
So it's really impressive stuff. And I'm probably undersold, or massively undersold it, and I do apologise for that. But it's, as Gio said, first in the world, game changer.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be some good. I mean, the Zeiss technical corners in general are a really, really popular product that MTDCNC supply. If you're watching this now on YouTube, you scroll down the page a bit, you'll see a whole playlist dedicated towards our technical corners, which we talk about machine tools, inspection products, cutting tools, tooling. CAD/CAM
software,
the whole shooting match. So that was Zeiss on Wednesday. We also had Mark and Lindsay were at KUKA. Now this was something that's a little bit far from my intellect. I don't know a lot about welding. What do you know about it, Colin?
Not a lot, but far from your internet, that leaves loads of stuff going on, mate. It really does. What I would say, well, this is because welding, I'm thinking TIG welding, MIG welding, things like that.
With robots, I suppose.
Well, this would KUKA, but we saw some welding when we went to Steel Fab because they had a welding competition. Do you remember that?
I did.
I don't think. Were you there when I was filming that? That was amazing what these guys do with their.
Oh,
with
that
their
was
welders.
the artificial intelligence. Not the artificial.
Oh no, that was when they trained us how to do welding, didn't they? And mine, I got 98 out of 100, and you got 7.
Oh, fantastic!
But anyway, we digress. KUKA work with Thomson, and it is friction welding, whereby, and obviously this is an audio program, but it's 2 tubes spinning in very simple terms, opposite directions, builds up heat and welds. That is, again, very simplistic.
Steve Malone, great guy.
Yeah, really is, yeah.
Bi-directional, we used that
bi-directional
last week, so both
good
both going in different directions. Did you know, another fact here, I've got a few facts for you during the show today. Did you know that you are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday than you are any other day of the year?
Why?
Well, it's quite obvious, isn't it? What do you do on your birthday?
Celebrate, open presents. You're not going to die. I'll open a present. Oh, no, I'm so excited.
Jack in
Mate,
the box.
I've been on one of your birthday parties and you do a lot more than that.
Okay, no, fair enough. Yeah,
we won't say any more, but leave that to people's imagination.
Don't wanna know.
13.8% more likely to die on your birthday.
Okay.
It's a good stat.
Where do you get these figures from?
Well, I just
Madeup.com.
Also on Wednesday we had Joe was at Sandvik, and this again takes us back a little bit to the cutting tool and the 3D printing. Did you say he was talking to them about that too there? Because
He was.
It's a bit of a theme.
He did, well, a number of things. He did 5 videos, but one of them was about let me get this correct, the R390 LW. Now, do you know what that is?
No, can you tell us?
No, I'm asking you, do you know what that is? No, I'm joking. It is an indexable cutter, add the inserts, but it's a 3D printed body.
Okay.
So it's a lot lighter than the big ones, and it's great for your boring in your big depths.
I'm loving that everybody's going into this 3D printed.
Well, it is. No, I haven't finished. Hold on.
Sorry.
That's
Sorry.
right. So it's much lighter, good for long reach applications. So you can still use it as an arbor.
Okay.
Do you know what an arbor is?
No.
It's where you leave your boat.
Oh, guys.
No? Okay. Arbor extension. But because of this, come on, Chloe, you're going to have your baby soon, aren't you? Sorry.
I'm going to go into labour early.
Don't do it here,
No,
please.
yeah.
But you get better surface finish and better tool life.
The great thing about this 3D printing of tools is the fact that, and I've seen this in the creation of various products, is you can use different materials within the print. So, for example, if you wanted to reduce the weight, the durable areas you could print out of a different material to what you could the rest of the body. So that can in itself be better for balancing, be better for weight distribution. That's a possibility.
When you've printed them as well, sometimes they need to be heat treated and stuff like that. They have to go through a phase, and sometimes they shrink as well and expand. So with different materials, obviously, if you're using a 20mm cutter, you'll have to make it at 30mm because it's going to shrink. And I'll probably ask someone else to go into more information on that. We'd have to do actually some work on that, but I just don't understand it. It still baffles my mind how we can be 3D printing these tools and sending them out, and people are using them day in, day out, because it's just fantastic.
Yeah, it's a really good innovation. We've been talking about it for quite a few years.
It's
only still not getting into the mainstream yet.
But that's interesting because I've only really been in this industry 6-7 years, and notice how much things are moving on and changing. So robots, there's only 1 or 2 when I started. 3D printing probably didn't even really... It did exist, obviously, but
no one was invested in it, were they?
Absolutely. But now it's just, everyone's looking at your robots, your automation, your 3D printing. It is a way... And it's getting more production level, isn't it?
I think a couple of years ago as well, we were talking about how we are so far behind the rest of Europe, the UK as a nation. But now I think I remember when people used to say, oh, your job's going to be taken over by a robot. No, it's not, because the robots will still need programming and you still need those skilled people to do it. And I think people are so scared of moving into the automation because not they're so behind or stuck in their ways, but it is a huge step for a customer to move into that thing. But once they do it, they will never go back.
But it lets skilled engineers do skilled engineering jobs rather than loading a billet. Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is something that Tony Gunn in the States has been this week. In fact, if you follow his feed on LinkedIn or the MTD, what is the sort of current global side of the platform, he's been in various companies this week and they've all implemented robotic lines. They've implemented software to track efficiency on machines. And that's what they're saying. They are saying actually they are recruiting more people now they've got this equipment. And this is in the States than they were before they had it. And that's the same here. But I think that what's happened here in the UK is people have just chosen apathetically, I think, to not embrace it because they don't really need to at the moment.
And
they do need to.
I know they do need to, Colin, but I think they've kind of like got to a point where they've almost been forced into it.
Forced to do it, yeah.
It's a bit. I'm trying to think of something in our domestic lives where you need to do it, but you just don't do it. You know, and I can't quite think of one at the moment.
Have a shower. No, but talking automation, actually, another great example was we saw Peter, and I think I mentioned this last week as well. Peter at Apsley Engineering they've got their fixed head machines with the bar feeds and things like that, but they've got the Matsuura, and it's a 7235V from memory. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they run that with all the pallets. And can you remember how many pallets
it's 35 pallets.
It is 35 pallets, yeah.
Wow.
Hence the name. But he showed me some figures. I've got posted on MTD Network. It's got 95% uptime spindle.
Incredible.
They work it 5 days, only 5 days. I say only 5 days a week, but he's got the pictures. 95% of the time that spindle is turning, so it's absolutely phenomenal.
I want to just say at this stage before we talk about Metalite, Chloe, that this is something that we're hearing in the mainstream media now, which is good as well, and very much so on our MTD MFG channel. Follow that channel if you want to hear about the latest in manufacturing news, manufacturing output and trends. They have a brilliant podcast which comes out every Thursday. That is, if you dial into MTD MFG, you'll be able to listen to that. Stuart from Jefferson was saying about how we are noticing almost like about a real good economy bounce back in manufacturing, aren't we? And I think that it's
I think I saw something yesterday. GDP is going to be up 7% this month, something like that, which is huge.
Yeah,
I mean it's obviously a much lower base, but that's a great.
But also positively talking to a lot of our customers this week. One of which I've been at this morning, Mills CNC, and then the Engineering Technology Group, who myself and Chloe were with the other day, amongst others, are reporting that April has been one of the best months of trading they've had for many, many years, which, you've got to look at and go, oh, this is really good news.
You know what, there's going to be a big problem though, isn't there? No machines. They're going to run out.
Yeah. And the one thing that I've been hearing as well is a lot of people are bringing manufacturing back to the UK, and that is just something for my ears that makes me so happy, because we were talking like with Brexit and everything like that a couple of years ago, sending everything off to China, sending everything off to America. It is so good for things to be back in the UK because we actually have the skill set. I don't understand, obviously I understand it's cheaper and things like that, but having the skill set here in the UK and be able to do it in our own little hub is just heartwarming. It really is.
But also with that, we've got the skill set, but you don't have to order a whole container load of things.
That will get stuck in a sewer canal.
In a sewer canal. Or you have to put them in the bog because they're rubbish.
Yeah.
But also quality as well. You can't, so we've done that one, but lead times. Yeah. 6 weeks to get a boat over from, I don't know how long it takes, but you're talking 2 months, 6 weeks, whatever. Whereas, this is urgent, I need it, or maybe not today, but I need it in 2 or 3 days. Yes, we could do it. And boom.
Yeah.
It's really good. So let's talk about Metalite. This was a brilliant visit, really, to a company in Swindon on behalf of the Engineering Technology Group. They've just purchased, we talk about automation, they've just purchased a Quasar machine. This was on Wednesday this week, a Quasar machine with a Euroa pallet system attached or interface to the machine.
Is it pronounced Euroa or Iroa? Seriously? Doesn't.
Either or.
Okay. Either or.
You say potato, I say potato.
Potato, yeah. Okay. And talking to the Lee James there, who we gave a shout out at the start of this show, I really wanted to find out why he purchased not just a Quasar machine, but this Euroa system with it, instead of going for what we see commonly as a machine that's got total integrated automation that comes as one. And his point was he was like, well, it's obvious, isn't it? And I was like, well, no, it's not. I need to know. Tell me why. And he says, well, basically because I've got more flexibility now. This Euro system, let's say, for example, my Quasar machine at the moment is doing billets that are 200 mil by 200 mil. I've got 30 off a week. I've got 200 off. I know what I'm doing. This pallet system is ideal for it because the size of the pallets, the quantities and all the rest of it. Let's say my business, like businesses have in the past year, changes direction because for whatever reason, I get new parts, new products, and those pallets aren't really the best way for me to make these parts. Maybe I need more pallets that are smaller. So what do I do then? I'm restricted because I've got a pallet system that's dedicated to a particular size job. I can move that Euro system onto another machine, and I can purchase another pallet system to put onto the Quasar machine. I've got more flexibility with this units, two pieces of hardware being separate than I have if they're all together.
Who integrates it though?
It's all an engineering technology group solution.
They are the person to go to. They don't just go to a Eroa. They don't just go to Quasar. ETG are the sole people to go to, and I think the fact that they've got such a good relationship. Even when I was at ETG, Metalite was always one of the customers that we were talking to, and obviously we used to help them with the applications and everything. And the amount of machines that they had from ETG anyway, you knew that trust was there. And he was just over the moon with his machine, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he was so adamant that surely this is a better way, isn't it? And the communication between the two, you can never raise that as an argument against it because the Heidenhain control communicates with both sets of hardware, which make it, so it was very, very great to see. And a business that was absolutely flying. And we saw some mold tools there that they were making for soup cups, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Which was soup cups.
Oh, soup
Where
cups.
you get your soup in.
Where you get your soup in.
I just misheard him. I thought he said super cuts. That's where I'm getting my hair done.
The male and the female side. And the actual female side, the polish inside of this
they got rid of the polishing application, didn't they?
By using Hypermill software, they basically make the female part of this tool, and they were machining it, interpolating this bore. And before they had to take it off the machine and go and polish it for finish. Now they're using Hypermill software, the processing time, the machining strategy, all the cycles has made the surface finished that much better. They don't need to polish it.
Using the same tooling?
Using the same tooling, same machine, just different software.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the power of software. So that was at Metalite on Wednesday. Thursday, we had Oracle Precision. What was Gio up to there, Chloe? Do you know?
He was talking about SolidCam, wasn't he?
Yeah, SolidCam. Do you know much about them?
Not really. I was never really a CAD-CAM person. I just did the training. So, do you want to tell us, Colin?
Nope. There you go. No, I do. I spoke to you about that one. So SolidCam programming, they've got the sliders. Now you're thinking sliders.
That's it, sliders,
how many different axes does a slider have, if I can say that?
More than one.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, you got both spindles. You can have I'm thinking X, Y, Z, A, C. Some of them have 12. I've seen axes. You try and program that. It'd be an absolute nightmare.
Are we then suggesting that the software that they supply is better than what the machine tool provider supplies? I mean, I
don't know, but I know that the SolidCam makes the job very, very easy.
It advances your engineering aspect. So obviously you've got a machine like Citizen, which is absolutely great, like you said, all those axes. But SolidCam must just be a benefit of that kind of utilising your machine even more.
It's like buying a Quasar and using Heidenhain and then sticking a Hypermill
on top of it. Yeah, exactly. Look how much more material you can get off. And like you said, they've completely, with Metalite, just to go back, they've completely abolished the polishing system. So them doing SolidCam, fantastic.
Yep. And just making it a lot easier.
Haven't they taken ownership of a star sliding head lathe to go into their technical centre, I believe, at SolidCam?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know.
I believe that's been part of the partnership, and I believe we've been invited to go and actually film this partnership as it unfolds. So it's always interesting.
Yeah.
R&D Tool Leverage. Now, when I saw this company, I thought to myself that was something about government finance.
No.
Research and development.
Oh, look at you. R&D Leverage, yes. Yeah. It's not. It is about they are world leaders in moulds and tools for plastic bottles. Don't all you eco warriors out there say about plastic bottles.
David Attenborough.
To be quite frank with you, it's not our problem, it's our kids' problem. So there you go. How's that for being
I'm 30 years younger than you.
Politically incorrect? How many years younger? I dispute that. God, that's a very low blow there, Chloe. How dare you? Anyway, it is plastic containers for, and you probably won't have seen them, Paul. Chloe definitely has, because it's for beauty and cosmetic products. Not that you need them at all, Chloe.
Oh, thanks, Colin.
Absolutely.
Well, there's a
Nice.
big shift. Have you been recently had any water out of a can? Have you seen you can buy
I've seen
water?
you
I've got a
can
tap
buy
at
some.
home. There you go.
But I went into a supermarket the other day, and literally all the water that you bought was out of a can, either sparkling or still. It was quite bizarre to buy, but a lot of these manufacturers are going back to the can.
I've
as
seen a
opposed
lot
to
in
plastic.
cardboard, like a milk carton sort of type, in like a cardboard. But that must still have a bit of plastic in it, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but all of these changes and innovations, should we say, all need tools to be made for them.
Of course they do.
These guys are world leaders and are using the EdgeCam software to design these for the end product, but they used to outsource it all. But as is usual, you can't. I mean, they probably had good subbies or whatever making these, but they weren't getting the quality they needed. So bring it in house.
So EdgeCam is part of Hexagon, right?
Yeah.
That's the group
Hexagon.
that we're
Yep.
talking about, and
Yep.
that's a great manufacturing process too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And these tools are going down to accuracies of 5 microns.
Funny you should say that. Another tool we saw on Wednesday at Metalite was that one for the optical, or what do you call them, contact lenses.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
God.
what a complex tool that was.
I could see it 'cause I don't need those contacts.
It was making 5 million contact lenses, and then it needs all of the inserts redone.
How many was it? It had 6, didn't it? Interchangeable, and then after 5 million, they had
that
to
has
change the
it.
mould.
Yeah, and all of this tool was to 5 microns across, corner to corner, end to end, all
And if
5
you
microns.
think-
Let's just
5
a hair
million, yeah.
hair is 50 microns. But how big is a rabbit?
I wasn't expecting that.
Oh, keep on! You've got to keep on the toes if you're
Think
going to
on
do
my
this.
toes.
If you're going to do this show, Chloe. But
I'm learning.
it is though. Hair 50 microns, just to give it a. We won't look at Paul because he's got no hair.
Yeah, you won't be able to use me as a yardstick, no.
Dipstick.
What about then, Chloe? Moving on to what you did yesterday as well, SRD.
Okay, SRD, me and Lindsay went there in Bicester. Sunny day, lovely day. We spoke with Chris, and it's a fantastic facility. They have got 18 Doosan lathes all in one section, and it was just so great. I also spoke to Charlotte, who's a woman in engineering, and they were talking about OpenMind and their Hypermill software. They'd just, I think it was last year, they changed over from a competitor, who I'm not going to name, but they will be benefiting from saving up to £20,000 per year. Just by changing over and utilising that CAD-CAM system to their best of abilities. And they said that Hypermill is only half an hour down the road from them. Obviously with COVID it's a bit difficult, but they've been on hand. They've had people come in, the applications engineers, if they needed to send anyone for training, they're just up the road, and they said it's absolutely fantastic. And they've also, 18 months ago you went in and had a look at the Matsura, and we did a catch up with that, and they are over the moon with it.
20
Over
grand
the moon.
saving. Don't give it all away because it's obviously in the
I'm
video.
not going to give it all away,
Give
but
us a little teaser.
so they were just saying how they're utilising it. So, but obviously we did a video with it, and I actually spoke to the bloke who was running the Matsura, because obviously it's a 5-axis machine and it's got pallets on it, 15 pallets I think. They were stacked in 3.
Yeah,
and
probably.
they were using tombstones as well. They got in touch with but they did the ventilator challenge as well, and they are able now, because they've set that up and they've got all the Hypermill, so you've got all your programs, 1 program, 2 program, and it's two up, so one side, the other side, and then there's 4 variations of this part. So the customer rang up and said, look, we need this part, when can you get it to me? Tomorrow, within 10 minutes it was up and running on the machine. And it's just utilising those programs. It was fantastic to see, and it was quite difficult for us to get people on the shop floor to talk to us because there was so much going on. Day shift, night shift, running 24 hours. Amazing.
Because they've got... So you go, Paul. Sorry.
Well, if I get Hypermill installed on you, does that mean I'll save £20,000 a year as well?
No.
Or make
Not with
an
that
extra
car.
20,000?
Honestly, you two are just tumbleweed moment. But they had at SRD, great machine shop, huge. They've got some Citizens, because I know you did a couple of videos.
Yes, we did. A few for you.
And a great story about when they got their first Citizen, because they quoted a job for £2, and the bloke just said, don't even bother, mate. And he's like, well, why? He goes, because 20p is nearer the mark. He's like, well, how'd you get this down to 20p? Slider, got a Citizen.
They were saying that they leave that for weeks, you know, they can just set it up. The bar feeder is absolutely huge, and they might be possibly investing in another one, so there's something for you, Colin.
Oh, okay. Salesman straight onto that, no doubt. That's good. Good. That's what we're here for.
Then today, Friday. Well, this
Correct.
morning I've been at Mills CNC with Tony Dale looking at the brand new Doosan Lynx 2600 SY, and there is a Y version as well. I think when you look at a machine that's been and we were. It was a pleasure to be invited there. The machining hit the deck in Leamington Spa last week. It's already sold. That one, and there's another one that's on the water that is sold as well, but they're bringing more through. I always try and look and identify with things that really are different and that people would like to know about and be interested in. And one of which is that this particular Lynx model has an 81 millimetre bar diameter, true bar diameter.
81 mil.
81 millimetres for a machine of the footprint that it has, albeit it's slightly bigger than the Lynxes that you would have seen maybe at Monard and other companies. It's got an 81 mil bar capacity with a 10-inch chuck. It's got a 12-station turret with 24-point indexing, but Doosan also have this patented sort of solution on their turret, which means that certain areas of it are air and oil cooled, which means the tool holders can run faster, or the driven tools can run faster, but less heat is generated as well. That's what you need,
really, don't you? Yeah.
Which means that you can, if you can run the tools faster, you can obviously make parts faster, maybe get better surface finishes. It's a really, really nice looking machine. And of course, Lynxes. Well, I'll ask you this question. How many Lynx machines do you think are installed around the world, Chloe? How many, roughly?
Around the world.
Bearing in mind, I sold Lynx machines back in 2005, 2006.
Yeah, Paul sold them,
Oh, it's got to be in the billions, I suppose.
Billions.
Colin,
I'm going to go more realistic, I think.
Oh, cheers.
10 million. No, I think Lynxes around the world, machine tools, 10,000.
40,000.
Oh, wow.
Approximately 40,000.
God.
Yeah.
So,
I got the wrong end of the stick there, so it's baby brain. Millions.
Approximately 40,000
every
machines.
every person in the world has got a Lynx machine at home.
Yeah.
They need to catch up on their sales. So the sales team's not doing very well.
Really great visit there. 40,000. I mean, let's say
do you know where most go into?
Machine shop.
They're such a good general purpose machine. They really are. The part we looked at this morning was a one-hit machining part because it was a sub-spindle machine, but there's no real restrictions with these. General engineering, precision engineering, whatever market sector, the Lynx is a good seller.
Definitely.
Even aerospace and all the rest of it.
I'm going to stop you there. Any more shout-outs?
We have actually.
Yeah,
we have.
Love a shout-out.
We've got the shout-outs. We've got Simon Humphrey from Future Design and Doug 2 in Luton and Dunstable, keeping those spindles turning. They wanted a mention. Paul from Rotec has been in touch. He's just had new machines purchased. Andrew from Unilathe, thanks for the recent videos produced, which we've been to Unilathe as well. So there's some good shout-outs.
I've got one. Clive Shackleton, Grandad, he'll be listening to this, so... I can't wait for In the Doghouse. Very excited for that.
Yeah, so how's that going, Chloe?
All right, it's been raining, so we haven't been doing much, but obviously I'm going to be moving house and the dog needs somewhere. It's a German Shepherd, by the way. So
what are you doing? Just explain for those that haven't seen it.
So obviously me and my granddad are engineers. He's the one who I followed in the footsteps of, and I asked him, I said, Granddad, even bearing in mind he's 82 and he's bored at home with my nan, obviously, during lockdown, I said, would you do me a favour and make me a doghouse? And he was like, oh yeah, that's fine. So I asked Paul, do you mind if we do like some videos? And he was like, yep. So each week we're going to be drawing it, making it, and it's more carpentry, but it's still got the engineering aspect in it, and it's week by week we're going to be building this doghouse and see what problems we come against.
More importantly, what's the dog's name?
Bronson.
Okay. Bronson.
Yeah, Charles.
Just before we conclude, and I wish you all the success with that, Chloe.
Thank you.
And love to keep in touch with that. And you'll be able to obviously see that across all of our social platforms. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as we always say. Before we do finish this one up, is there any... Go on.
You haven't done... What are you doing next week?
Yeah. I'm going to come to that.
Shut up, sorry.
Is there any interesting things you've seen this week, or any interesting facts that you've learned for yourself, Chloe, while you've been out and about? Not necessarily engineering
when we went
related.
to Metalite, the things that they were doing there was incredible, because they were doing lots of pharmaceutical stuff as well, and we didn't even go into the laser etching, did we? They've got a really clean laser etching bit, which we were really intrigued about, in the little intricate parts, so that was really nice to see.
Okay, what about you, Colin? It doesn't have to be in engineering, it could be in anything.
I've got nothing, to be honest. You put me on a spot there. I'm sure I've got loads buzzing around in my mind.
Such a busy life, haven't you?
I've got one. I heard a word. I want to know whether you know what this means, right? It's pogononophobia. What is pogononophobia?
It is scared of pugs.
Sorry. Fear of plastic.
No, it's the fear of beards.
Hey?
Would you believe? Yeah. Someone said to me, because I only had a shave yesterday and I was there the other day, and they said it's lucky I've not got. Yeah, yeah. They said it's lucky I've not got pogononophobia, and I thought, what the hell is?
Pogononophobia.
Yeah, pogononophobia.
No, I don't believe people are going to have to around the world are googling right now.
Okay, so next week, well, luckily Monday is bank holiday, so we won't be out anywhere on Monday. Tuesday we're at Renishaw. Chloe, I know you're there. There's a webinar going on, is there?
There's a webinar, yeah. I think quite a lot of the team are there at Renshaw, and I haven't been to Renshaw for about 6 years, and I know they've got a brand new showroom. It's all not top secret there, but they're quite enclosed because of the technology they're doing. So watch out for the video because it's going to be really, really good.
Good stuff. I know we're also back at Solid Cam next week. I know we're at Massplas in Wellingborough, another tool maker that's got injection moulding machines. Seems to be a bit of a theme at the moment.
That's for Eurospark, isn't it?
That is for Eurospark, yes. We've got technical corners here in the studio, plenty of those. I'm just looking at the calendar now.
That technical corner, is that for Hoffman? No, Gio, actually, I spoke to Gio. He's going out to Hoffman because John, is it Waskett? He's not been very well. So shout out to him, wish him a speedy recovery. Gio's meeting up with Tim Patterson, so I just wanted to wish him well, absolutely.
Wish him all the best.
Yeah.
DMG podcast, DMG Mori, I've got to get that right. Sorry, Steve Finn, I do apologise.
Is there a DMG Mori podcast?
There most certainly is. Gio and Mark doing that.
Okay, yeah, coming next week. And you can catch all of our podcasts across all of our channels, Spotify, iTunes, what are the other ones? YouTube.
I don't know.
On the MTDCNC website.
Absolutely.
Apple, Google.
There you
Apple,
go.
Google. Final one from me. Colin, how many dimples on a golf ball?
How many dimples?
Oh.
I know this
Not on
one.
your
I know
golf ball.
153.
No, 336.
Well, I've got a quick one though. We're starting the MSC have got a new product coming out. It is an absolute, and I'm going to use the phrase again, an absolute game changer. It really is. Fantastic piece of software. We're starting the process in terms of getting that promoted, so that's starting next week. I've watched some of the videos about this, and the figures in terms of cycle time, MRR, etc., are absolutely astounding.
Well, don't leave us hanging. What is it?
I can't tell you. It's from MSC though. Watch this space. It is coming soon.
Good stuff.
How's that?
Okay, brilliant. Guys, well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on this podcast. Don't forget to tune in every Friday to listen to what we've been up to in the week that we've just had and what's coming in the days and weeks ahead. Thanks for listening.
And some shout-outs. We need
Shout
shout-outs.
outs.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.